Hello everybody and welcome to step 1 email common mistakes. We're going to go through some common mistakes, especially relating to the grammar. I'm going to try and keep this under 20 minutes. So yeah, I'm going to try to balance going fast with being clear. Okay, let's look at this first issue. Could versus would. Now, you use would sometimes when you should use could. For example, if only my aunt would be there next time. So this sort of assumes that you know that your aunt is not going to be there, that she will never be there, that it's not a possibility. Whereas what you really need is could, if only she were able to be there next time. So whenever we're thinking about ability, we need to use could. Also, look at this. Look at this, a blue squiggle. The reason this is appearing is because if you look down here, English United Kingdom, I've selected, okay, the language that I want to use. You also need to select the language that you want to use, okay? And when you see this blue squiggle, fix it. All right. Next, if the Italian restaurant had not closed during the vacation, you would organize it there. Again, this is being a bit presumptuous. You're sort of saying that you know exactly what this other person would do. You would organize it there. I know exactly what you're thinking. I know exactly what you're going to do. I can predict the future. No, it's just we're talking about ability here. You could organize it there. It's a possibility and you would be very capable of doing it. Okay, so could versus can. This is more past versus present. If okay, so again, look, little red squiggle. Oh, what have we done? We've duplicated the word. That happens sometimes. It's a typo. Let's delete it. If I had known that this restaurant can do delivery, I would have tasted it earlier. We're talking about things in the past here. Can, even though it is a modal verb, it really is more to do with the present. So we're going to replace this with could. Okay. Now, past perfect versus past simple and present perfect. If only she kept the secret, it would have been perfect. So, would have been perfect, that's at one point in the past. Prior to this point in the past, before this point in the past, she had to have kept the secret. So, we can't just have a past simple over here, we need past perfect. If only she had kept the secret at point A, then it would have been perfect at point B. I wish you were there because it was a great event. So, it was a great event. That's a sort of like a conclusion that you come to at the end of the event. And I wish you were there needs to be in the past perfect. I wish you had been there because it was a great event. When we say I wish you were there, that's the present actually. We're talking about the present when we say I wish you were. For example, a typical thing that you write in a postcard, which I'm sure you learnt at school at some point. I wish you were here. So I wish you were here right now as I am writing this postcard. I wish I were more careful. So I wish I were more careful is today, in general. I wish I were more careful. But then let's read the rest of the sentence. Insofar as the waiter's behavior really cast a cloud over my surprise. Okay, so there's a bit of an excessive floweriness about this language here, which means that some things don't really make sense. I mean, we should probably replace insofar with because. That makes more sense. Cast a cloud over. Okay, I don't have time to go find something, but it's not really what I think this person means. So the waiter's behavior was really bad. That's point B. Now, we go back in time to point A. I wish I had been more careful at point A, because at point B, the waiter's behavior really casts a cloud over my surprise. Okay, next, if I have known such a great restaurant were located near my house, I would have come. I would have come. This is great. This is fine. This is point B. And we're talking about point A in time. Well, we need past perfect. Or, you know, if point B and point A confuses you, think of like point 1 and point -1. Okay? You know, this is before the main action of the sentence. If only we have known that it was better to make a reservation, we would have called before. So, again, at a certain point, you would have called before, but in order to call before, you needed to know something before, in the past, all right? And this is where we need past perfect. If only we had known, then we would have called. All right, now moving on to present perfect versus past perfect and present continuous. So you can tell by the amount of mistakes, you seem to have much less of an issue with present perfect than with past perfect. Past perfect is all about talking about something in the past that happened before something else in the past. So, present perfect. If he hadn't worked on weekends, he would had come for sure. Oh, what's this? What's this? A blue squiggle? Let's fix it. So simple. If he hadn't worked on weekends, he would have come for sure, right? Working on weekends is the sort of pre-existing condition that prevents him from doing something, and that something is our point B, so have. I wish he could had been. So anyway, after a modal verb, you can't conjugate the verb that comes just afterwards, so this has to be have anyway, but this is also talking about a point B. I wished, so I wished, I don't really understand why this is in the past. So in the past you wished, but now you don't wish anymore? I'm not sure that's right. I think that's probably present. I wish he could have been. Right now, I feel that it would have been great if he could have been there. If my sister had told me that it was a busy place, okay, that's great, I would have been choosing another option. I don't understand why this is in the present perfect continuous, actually. So this is not present continuous, this is present perfect continuous. It implies that, you know, you're sort of choosing over and over again repetitively for like a long amount of time. Whereas generally, yes, you might research many options in order to choose something, and that might take a lot of time, but choosing happens in one moment. So I would have chosen. If my sister told me that, this is actually probably if my sister had told me that, I would have looking for a restaurant with vegetarian dishes. Okay, so first of all, if you really want it to be present perfect continuous, you need the perfect bit, okay? You got present perfect continuous. But again, this is just like the sentence before. It doesn't really work. Like, yes, okay, you would have been looking maybe for several days, but this sort of implies that, oh, you know, you're looking for a really long time, all the time, repetitively, and it doesn't really make sense with the sentence. Like, maybe you could say, oh, I had been looking for my watch for days when suddenly I came across it in the street. That would work, but in this case it doesn't really work. So I would have looked for a restaurant with vegetarian dishes. Now, moving on to the conjugation of present and past perfect. Okay, so here's my problem with these mistakes, everybody. Look at the amount of squiggles. Also, perhaps I should define the word squiggles. S-Q-U-I-G-G-L-E. A squiggle is a line that goes up and down like this. Yeah? This is telling you that there's a problem. Oh, what's the problem? Word. Oh, so I need to, okay, that's fine, great, let's replace it. Oh, no, so now there's a problem here? Thanks, buddy. Thanks for telling me about it. I'm not going to ignore you. I'm going to figure out what the problem is. Now, you probably already know what the issue is here. Would is a modal verb. The verb just after a modal verb cannot be conjugated. We need to use the root. And so instead of has, we need have. Is that okay? Yeah. Oh, wow. Look, that's amazing. No more squiggle. Now, I can understand why you would use has here, because you've got it and you're thinking, I need to put my s's at the end of my verbs, but this is actually overcorrection. Okay, after a modal verb, we don't have this distinction between first person, second person, third person, etc. Okay, so again, if you can't booked, so the issue here is that we have conjugated something after a modal verb. Doesn't work. Also, it just doesn't work in general. I could understand if the mistake was if you couldn't booked, but the mistake is if you can't booked. So I'm not really sure why this was put in the past. I wished my sister would liked the food I liked. Okay, so first of all, let's have a look. What does the computer tell us? Yes, it tells us that we can't conjugate something after would. So now let's look over here. I wished my sister would like the food I liked. So now you don't wish for it anymore? I'm not 100% sure about this. I mean, maybe the author thought, yeah, now I don't wish for it anymore. Now I'm fine with my sister not liking the food that I like, but I think that's probably a mistake. Okay, I wish I did have noticed. Okay, what is going on here, everybody? Yes, you've got your past with did, and you've got have. But you can't use this auxiliary to add emphasis with present perfect, or rather past perfect. So let's delete the did. Simply, I wish I had noticed. Now let's look at this. We've got a modal verb, would. The verb after it is not conjugated, it's in its root form. Everybody's happy. But then we have a squiggle here. Why? Because this should be a past participle, but it's not. So we would have dined in. We have the same problem with this next one. This should be a past participle, but it's not. So what is the past participle of to know? Okay. For those of you who said, I have no idea, you know, when your English teachers would make you learn, you know, irregular verbs off by heart, this is why they were doing it, okay, to make sure that you didn't have these kinds of problems. Okay, now this next sentence is a little bit more confusing. It was open. If he had been close, we would not have been happy. Okay, so let's start with the simplest mistake to fix. Would not. Okay, great. So that's our negative modal. And then suddenly a past participle. But you can't have a past participle on its own. It needs its auxiliary verb. So we would not have been happy. Okay. If he had been close. Now, actually, what this is if he had been close. Si il avait été proche. This makes no sense. So I think this person is talking about a restaurant, but a restaurant is not a person. So we're going to replace he with it, and at this point, I think that the person was talking about the restaurant being closed, okay, fermé, not proche. So close with an S is the adjective, which means proche. Close with a Z sound is the verb, which means fermé. Okay. It was open. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. I don't understand this. Please reread your sentences. Some of them I can't find the mistake because actually the sentence doesn't make sense, and so I don't know what you meant. Okay. I wish I had discovered it. Okay, points for adding the ed, but points removed for not noticing that this is not a word in English. Okay, if it's in red, that means it's not a word. The answer is simply discovered. All right, to discover, yeah, past participle, discovered. We would have, a very nice use of a contraction here, I like that. Founded. This doesn't make sense, okay? Again, this is a good example of why it's important to learn your irregular verbs. So, I imagine that what this person really wanted to say was something to do with finding. So, to find. Okay, let me scroll a little bit so we have some space. To find, I find, slash, he, she, it finds. Past tense, I found. Past participle, I have found. Find, finds, found, found. So we would have found the restaurant. Now, founded is actually part of a whole different verb. To found. Now what does to found mean? It means fonder. So, I found, he, she, it founds. Past tense, I founded. Past participle, I have founded. Okay, so please be aware that English has a bunch of homophones, fewer than French, but still they are there. And that, you know, just because a verb sounds like another verb doesn't mean that that's necessarily it. Please do check your verb conjugations. Alright, moving on to wish versus hope. I hope you a good ambiance between your guests. Now, what the person has tried to do here is they've tried to use the structure of I wish you a Merry Christmas, but they've stuck hope in there. And it doesn't work. So first of all, what I'd like to say is I wish you something, or just something, is a very antiquated way of expressing your feelings about an issue. You know, you can say I wish you good luck, but most people just say good luck. You can say, I wish you a Merry Christmas, but that's only in the song. You know, I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Nobody uses that anymore. Everybody just says Merry Christmas or Happy New Year. You could have said in the past, I wish you success with your endeavor, or whatever it is, but today we wouldn't say that. We wouldn't use wish. So even if, you know, you could say, I wish you a good ambiance between your guests. I mean, that doesn't make sense. I mean, it kind of makes sense, but it's very French anyway. I wouldn't use this. I would use, I hope that, okay, so the that is optional, but I use that. I hope that your guests get on well together. Yeah, and this is much more natural in English. It's very subject, verb, object. Okay, so we've got our first subject and our first verb, I hope, and then this is, you know, this is sort of like our next object. But here we've got your guests, subject, get on, verb, well together, another object. So whenever you're thinking about saying something in English, really think subject, verb, object, okay, SVO. Okay, now that's an instance of where somebody used hope when you should have used wish, but much more common is using wish when you should have used hope. And this happens all the time. Okay, so first let's troubleshoot some bad punctuation here. Bam, delete it. Okay, right, that looks better. So, before we start correcting these, what I want to say is, as a general rule of thumb, hope is for the future, wish is for the present and the past. If you don't take anything else from this, just take that, okay? Hope for the future, wish, present or past. So, I wish you could have one for your brother. Now, the one in this case is a nice party. I wish you could have one for your brother, but actually, you can't. It's not possible. I wish you could have a nice party for him, but it's, you know, it's not going to happen. I don't think that's what this person meant. I think what this person meant was, I hope you will have, have one for your brother. Yeah. In the future, I hope that this thing will happen. I don't know that it will, but I hope it will. Same thing for this. I wish you to spend. Okay, so this is another. This is kind of like I wish you good luck or I wish you a Merry Christmas, but it's not working here because it's with a verb. I wish you to spend an unforgettable evening with your brother. Instead, we would say, I hope that you spend an unforgettable evening with your brother. Much simpler. Next, I wish we could live it again one day with you. Okay, so this is very French. We don't live things in English, or, you know, maybe as a marketing tool, like live the great experience of this roller coaster or whatever. But even then, it sounds weird. So I wish we can do it again. Yeah. Oh, I wish we can go to the restaurant again one day with you. Something like that. So first of all, there's a problem with this can, because with wish, we need to have, you know, a could or a would or something in the past tense, even when we're talking about the present. But given that actually we're talking about the future, what we really need is, I hope that we will, and how do we say can in the future? Okay, so we will be able to, blah, blah, blah. I hope that we will be able to. Okay, next. I wish that you were to spend a good moment with your brother. Okay, so first of all, it's not spend a good moment, it's have a good time. That's just a general, that's, you know, it's a Frenchism, spend a good moment, passer un bon moment, but in English it's have a good time. And this is very bitchy. This is this is a very bitchy sentence. This is very spiteful. Like, I wish you would have a good time with your brother, but it's not possible. I know you're incapable of it. Why are you so terrible? Why are you so annoying? So not I wish you would spend a good moment with your brother, but I hope, and by now, I hope that you students know how I'm going to finish this sentence. I hope you will have a good time. I was wishing this was a good place to go because it was a last-minute solution. So, again, you were not wishing at that point. At that point in time, you were like, okay, this is a last-minute solution. I'm not entirely sure that this is going to be great, but I hope that it will be. I'm projecting myself into the future, and I really hope that in the future, you know, when we go to this restaurant, it's going to turn out to be great. So you can say, I was hoping this would, or I was hoping this was a good place to go, or I was hoping this would be a good place to go. Yeah, probably I was hoping this would be a good place to go. Okay, I wish you can find the address. I mean, I wish you could find the address. I wish you could, but you're so bad at reading maps that you really, really can't. Again, very, very unpleasant intonation here. I hope you can. So I hope you can right now, or I hope you will be able to in the future. I wish I could travel soon in one of these countries. In one of these countries. That doesn't make sense at all. We travel to a country. We go to a country. We go to a restaurant. We go to school. So, I hope what do you think? I hope I can travel to one of these countries soon, or I hope I will be able to travel to one of these countries soon. I think we're going to go with will be able. I hope I will be able to travel to one of these countries soon. In English, time goes at the beginning or at the end of the sentence, not in the middle, and soon doesn't work at the beginning of this sentence, so we're going to put it at the end. If you say soon I hope, that means that you're not hoping right now, but soon you will hope. Whereas I hope I will be able to travel to one of these countries soon is the travel. You hope that the travel will be soon. Right now you hope that in the future the travel will be soon. I wish the atmosphere will be the same. I hope the atmosphere will be the same. I wish I didn't answer you too late. I hope I didn't answer you too late. I wish you would have fun as much as I did. I wish you would have fun, but you're so incapable of having fun. Oh my god. I hope you will have fun as much as I did. Okay, we're up to 28 minutes now. This is much longer than I wanted to go, so we're going to stop here. Oh yeah, no, let's please do this last one. If only your brother's graduation would be a success. Now this doesn't actually make sense, but the feeling I'm getting from it is your brother's graduation is going to be a disaster. I mean, if only it could be a success, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I hope your brother's graduation will be a success. Now, there are a lot more mistakes that I saw. In general, conjugation, please, like, just revise the verb to choose, okay? Everybody needs to revise this. Prepositions, please check, okay? Go to Lingui and type in aller au restaurant, and you will see that people say we go to a restaurant, not we go in a restaurant. And we eat at a restaurant, not we eat in a restaurant. So many things could be solved just by looking in a dictionary. Word order. Now, I'm going to leave this on the screen for a bit. Word order is more complicated, and I'm sorry to say that for now, just memorize where these things are supposed to go. Okay. Most adverbs and pretty much all adjectives go in front of what they're describing, but there are some adverbs that go after what they are describing. There's a whole lesson on this in step 2, which, well, unfortunately, you're not going to get to look at until next semester or the semester afterwards. But yeah, definitely have a look at this. And then I've just got a big massive list of things that are just French, yeah, like the way he chose, but that's actually la manière dont il a choisi, whereas the person who wrote this meant the path he chose, la voie qu'il a choisi. En effet is translated by as a matter of fact. Many people wrote that the waiters were not very smiling. Doesn't make sense in English. They were not very pleasant with us. They were quite moody with us. You can use that, but you can't say, oh, the service was not very smiling. Again, to choose, please go and revise to choose. Every single language, nationality, country, continent word must have a capital letter. The Jean Jaurès Street, okay, with a capital S for street. Even if, this should be even though, you can't be installed, only like software or equipment can be installed. Installer is not installed. Please check your false friends before you type. Also took a cold, got a cold, I think. Even if my brother could not have joined us, unfortunately. This is another even though problem. A Japanese music, just Japanese music, or a Japanese song. Congrats is not a verb. Congratulate is the verb. Plates means assiette, not dishes. A dish is the correct translation of un plat for both meanings. Thereby, I don't think you understand the meaning of thereby. I heartfully, that's not a thing. The restaurant is not a person, okay? The restaurant is not a person. This is so French. The thing I didn't like, it's that c'est que. La chose que j'ai pas aimé, c'est que. No, just do it in English. Subject, verb, object. I didn't like that the restaurant closed at midnight. Howdy, are you in Texas? No, don't use howdy. That prices, those prices, a 20-person group, okay? Person here is part of the adjective describing group, so it's singular. A fast food for the dinner, so un fast food is not the same in English, so a fast food restaurant or a fast food diner or something. Troubles during the meal. The Troubles are a very bloody and terrifying part of Northern Irish history. You mean problems. Your brother graduation party, don't forget your possessive S. Many persons, the plural of person is people, okay? One person, two people. Passed a good party, had a good party, just like have a good time. If the cost of meal, the meal. I don't know exactly what was going on here, but it definitely needs a the. Okay, so sorry this has gone on for 15 minutes more than I thought it would. I hope this has been helpful. And again, I'm sorry about the delay for the marking. For the foreseeable future, I will not be able to, you know, highlight and change the colors of the things that I'm marking. So this may be how we proceed for the rest of the semester. Okay, right, I'm off now. Thanks for listening, and hope this was useful.